talk about the candidate. Specifically, let's talk about candidates' preparation before the interview. Because at this point, I'm certain that you're aware interviews are not just about showing up, answering questions, and then crossing your fingers and hoping that things are going to turn out the way you want them to turn out, okay? No, it doesn't work that way. There are preparations, okay? There are things you need to factor in before you go out for the interview, during the interview, and even when the interview is done. So let's talk about some of those stuff. As a candidate, you need to prepare. So the first thing is know yourself. I mean, that's pretty much the first place to start, knowing yourself. So what do you really need to know about yourself? You need to know things like what you intend to achieve through work, your inner fulfillment, fame, position in the society, wealth, security, comfort, travel, power, all that stuff. I mean, look, they're definitely going to ask you, so tell us about yourself. And then what do you say? I mean, you could say things like, well, I work, and then I wake up, and then I go to the gym. And look, none of that has anything to do with the job, right? It's part of the things that you're supposed to look at in the questions that are attached to this entire course. Tell them things about yourself that actually relate to the job, that are pretty much not in your CV but are important, okay? So, know yourself. You're not going to talk about yourself if you don't really know why you're even looking for that job. Number 2, know the company. Remember, all these are preparation before you go for that interview, right? So before you go for that interview, know yourself. You need to know the company. What exactly do you know about the company? I mean, you want to know things about the company that will make you different from some guy who just saw an advert on the internet or in the newspaper and decided to act on it. Okay? You should try and find out as much as possible about the company's activities, its growth over years, its future prospects. So that is going to reveal something about you. It's going to reveal that you're interested in the company and not just the job because, you want salary or something. Next, let's talk about the questions they're going to ask you. So prepare for the questions. Well, we're not just saying cram the questions and then hope that is what they're going to ask. The thing is that some of the questions they ask are not really that complicated. Some of these questions are going to be revolving around things like your interest, hobbies, achievement, prospects, relationship with your friends, relationship with members of the family. So don't lie. I mean, there is that, you could lie, but then the problem with lying in an interview is that then you're going to spend the entire time thinking about what will happen if they find out that you actually lied during the interview. Now, the other thing, prepare for the questions you would like to ask. So it's not just them asking you questions, because at some point they might ask you, so do you have any question for us? But even if they don't ask you, you could just ask. You need to know some things. If they don't talk about things like fringe benefits, if they don't talk about things like medical cover, I mean, look, it depends on the job that you're looking for. They have questions for you. Do you have questions for them? Now, regarding arriving for the interview, number 1, dress appropriately. We've already talked about the part that sometimes the random appearance is what is going to be used to gauge the candidate. So dress for the job that you are actually applying for. Okay? Dress appropriately. You don't know what they're looking for. So you don't want to put on a jeans, t-shirt, and a jumper because they told you that we don't care about appearance. Yeah, people say that. But the truth is, you do care about appearance. I mean, to a certain degree. You don't really notice somebody being smart. You see them first. Okay? And then later you realize they're actually smart. So to increase the chances of the people really taking you seriously, you have to look the part. So dress appropriately. Take relevant certificates with you. That is something else that you also need to factor in. You just don't carry everything that you have with you. It's only certificates that matter in relation to the job that you're applying for. Okay? So carry those ones with you. You don't want to go there and try to prove that I'm way smarter than everybody in this room. That's not the point of the interview, okay? So you just want things that are going to support your, that are going to increase the chances that you're going to be hired for that job. So take relevant certificates with you. Next, arrive for the interview in time. Why? Because in case there is any mix-up, you have the time to sort it out. So don't be late. Now remember, these are preparations before you go for the interview. So before you go for the interview or as you're arriving for the interview, the point is before you walk into that room, you need to have all these things in place as a candidate because that is going to increase the chances of you succeeding. So let me know if there is any question. I'm Moses and I'll see you in the next video.